Marketing to millennials, it's a challenge we all face. And in this video, we're going to dive into that, and plus, we're going to give you a few tips on perhaps how to find your next job. I'm Daniel Burstein, the Director of Editorial Content at MarketingSherpa. I'm here at the MarketingSherpa Media Center at IRCE with Carlos Gil. Thanks for joining us, Carlos.
Thanks a lot for having me.
So at IRCE, you're going to be speaking about marketing to millennials on social media. What do we need to know about marketing to millennials?
So really, from a high level, what brands need to know is that millennials are very different than baby boomers. So what my presentation is going to walk brands through and marketers through really is understanding how content varies from each of the social mediums, right? Really help brands develop a content strategy so they can be more successful when engaging with millennials. Because I tell you, really just from experience of working with brands in the retail sector that are much more traditional, the way that millennials are engaging with brands today is a lot different than the way their parents and grandparents once used to get their content from brands.
So let's start with the negative. What's a great way to alienate millennials on social media?
Don't try to sell to them. So a lot of brands today, they're going for the hard sale, right? So you go on Twitter, you go on Facebook, and you see brands that are literally saying, hey, buy with us. Okay, or you have brands that are really just reinforcing price. And I think at the end of the day, millennials and just really consumers in general, they know what you do as a brand. So they know that if they need to go to Home Depot, they're going to buy paint, or they know if they're going to go to a supermarket to buy bread and essentials. So as a brand, you don't really need to reinforce why you're the lowest game in town. You really should look to reinforce, especially to millennials, what value you can offer to them and what compliment can you really offer to their everyday lifestyle.
Do you have any examples of some companies you see doing this well?
You know, I see unfortunately more brands that aren't doing it well, so I don't want to call anyone out per se, but I tell you, a brand I really admire a lot is Taco Bell. I think they really have hit the nail on the head in terms of being able to make a relevant connection with this audience. They're doing a lot with Snapchat, they're on Vine, they're really going outside of just Facebook as a medium to market, and they're really using these tools as vehicles to build brand awareness and to really make millennials feel like they're a part of something cool.
Okay, so you talked about Vine and some of these emerging social media platforms, and it seems a real challenge for internet retailers. Just when we're getting used to one social media platform, whether it's Facebook or Twitter, other ones are popping up. So how do you advise internet retailers decide which platforms to be on? Is it worth investing in a new platform?
Well, you know, you've got to understand how these platforms work, right? So Facebook is always going to be your social media content hub. But social media is not limited to just Facebook content. Twitter is my favorite of all the social networks, and the reason why is because through Twitter, you can see what consumers are saying about your competition, you can see what they're saying about your brand, you can have one-on-one dialogue with them, and at the end of the day, social media, it's not advertising. Social media is relationship building. That's really what it's all about. Twitter gives brands the opportunity to engage with consumers one-on-one. Then you have Pinterest. Pinterest is really big with moms, especially with millennial moms, and I'll be speaking about that in my session. Brands such as Nordstrom's, even Home Depot for the males, they're using Pinterest as ways to provide do-it-yourself solutions. Then you have Instagram. Instagram, it's really hot today with millennials. Again, it's one of my favorite social networks out there, and I consider Instagram the hallmark card of social media. Everything looks good on Instagram. It gives brands an opportunity, like Forever 21, for example, big brand within the millennial demographic, gives them an opportunity to get millennials to preview their spring collection on there. Brands like Express, Men's Warehouse, they're all over Instagram. And then you have Vine, and where I think Vine is really cool is, one, it's owned by Twitter, so videos that you upload to Vine, you can tweet them, and now you don't even have to leave Twitter to see video content. So brands can create what I call 6-second micro commercials within Vine, and that's really cool. So I don't think that brands should alienate really all the social media platforms. What they need to do is they need to develop strategies, content strategies that are unique for each platform, because what I'm seeing is that you have different consumers engaging on these platforms, and the content, the way that it's viewed on these platforms really varies from channel to channel.
All right, and you're not only a social media expert, but you've also written a book about your own journey in being unemployed and then finding employment. So what advice would you give to marketers about if they're out there, if they're looking for a job, how can they use social media? What other tactics can they do to market themselves? Because one thing I see with marketers, we're always challenged with marketing ourselves when we're looking for a job. What can marketers do?
Well, you know, one thing that folks out there watching this, they need to take into account is that people are brands too. Okay, so marketers especially, they have access to the same tools that everyone else has access to. Focus on developing your personal brand. I found myself unemployed back in 2008 at the height of the recession. I used to work in banking. Today I work in corporate marketing. So I wasn't able to make that transition or that leap from where I was back then to where I am 6 years later without using social media. Leverage LinkedIn. That is the #1 resource that marketers or professionals in general need to go to. Establish a profile on there, join groups, network. I wouldn't be sitting here today speaking to you if it wasn't for networking. And it's not something that's going to be done overnight. It takes years. It's taken me 6 years to build the network that I have. But I tell you, that's probably, for a professional in today, your greatest asset is your network. It's not only about who you know, but who knows you as well.
Yeah, that's true. I found out about you because I saw someone tweet about you on the IRCE hashtag on Twitter, that they were excited about seeing you here, so I reached out, I'm like, we got to talk to this guy.
That's exactly how it works.
Well, thanks a lot, Carlos.
Thanks a lot for having me.
You can see many more videos at MarketingSherpa.com/IRCE from right here in the Marketing Sherpa Media Center at IRCE.